So hey there everybody and welcome to the channel. My name is Rich, channel host, and as you can see, I'm plotting something out right now. So we have some new clients who are looking to do some large acreage areas. We had actually spoken with them last year as they're getting things prepped, and recently they've gotten in touch because they want to showcase some of the areas that some of these new developments are going to be. So normally we like to go out on the job site to get a look and feel of what we're going to be doing. And then we'll come back to the office and we'll look at something like Litchi's Mission Hub, which I'm using right now. And all the new stuff that's come out with Litchi for so many different drones. Pretty compelling that Litchi's back on the map again, which is great. Doesn't do the best job for the Mavic 3E. I've got the layout for the 3E here. But so anyways, I'm looking at this. I'm going to show you a couple of things in a few moments. But long time visitors here know that we've had some medical stuff going on in the past couple of years, what we're trying to get dealt with. But we do have it nailed down that I have pudendal neuralgia. Look that one up sometime. It makes it miserable for what I'm doing right now, sitting. It's some kind of pinched nerve or a nerve issue. So we're doing several things, and we're also doing a lot of physical therapy for me as well. I do love to be outside. I love to be in the granite dells or on the mountain bike, and I haven't been able to do that stuff. I haven't complained too much on channel, I hope, but I want to share it with you because this is now getting in the way. So we're looking at something, but we went out yesterday with one of the clients to check out the area. Well, part of the area, there's a lot more than what you're seeing here, and this is something to play with as we talk. But so we went out with one of the principals and rode along in their 4x4 with them. And wow, was that a mistake. So within the first couple of minutes of riding around in here, I was in excruciating pain. We did get to look at everything, but I was gritting my teeth and hanging on hard to the handles in the truck for sliding around. This is a pretty low key area that we're looking at here with just these couple of waypoints. It's not, there's no big elevation changes or the rocks that are over behind here or anything. So we were riding around in this center area, but every bounce, the roads are not cut in well yet. So riding along and going over routes and things made for an absolute miserable morning. So not complaining, not whining about this, but here's something that I might have to do more often to figure out things for the clients is pre-set up everything here in the office. And like I said, I like to go in the field. I like to check out the location to see the things that my maps on my computers are missing, that kind of thing, because you will find things change over time and Google Earth doesn't update that quickly. So frustrating day yesterday, and so coming back and looking at things today, just testing out some of the stuff. We were doing some planning previously at where we'd want to look on this site, but I just want to share. We'll talk about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit the play button here, and the drone is now taking off from that area. So we're looking at the 2D model version of this right now as the drone's moving along. And we can also do a 3D model as well. But what I really like to see on this, so this is just mapping it out. Next to the 3D area up here, we have a planet. And that would be Google Earth. So I'm going to click on Google Earth. And wow, so we can actually see the area. And like I said, this was not extreme travel. This isn't an extreme area at all. And, easily navigated, if we were to bring my truck out or another 4x4, easy enough to navigate to get some things set up for yourself. But what happens here, any of that bouncing around or anything, like I said, was absolutely excruciating. So I'm starting to think that some more of our stuff is going to have to be, do a little more pre-planning and testing to see where the drone's going and have these pre-set up for when we get to the location so that we can just kick each of these off and then make determinations about what waypoints to change. But so just this right here, this is actually a little wash that we're looking at right here. And so by the way, isn't the Google Earth 3D model, this is just absolutely crazy fantastic, right? All right. So anyways, here's the wash. So no houses are going to be going in here down the road. It's a wash that, goes out to Watson Lake here. Um, so we're just moving ourselves around. The map looks really nice. And let's go ahead and bring it back to the 3D version. So we have several ways that we can look at this. Or we can also look at the 2D version and, see where the drone is. And the drone's right down here right now, moving along. And you can also see this boxed out area that's going to be visible in here. Let's take a look. So yeah, we do have a lot of visible area in here. I also like the fact that we can see the waypoint and get some information on it. So, altitude 98, AGL is 334, and then the elevation, I think, from sea level here. So this is moving us around nicely. I've got this going really slow just to follow along with me. And you can see some other points out there. The other nice thing that I do get a kick out of, let's go ahead and do the follow cam. So this sets up our drone. So the drone's moving along. There's waypoint 5, but the drone is also showing what it's going to be picking up. So we might want to, this is negative 24 degrees. Maybe we pull the gimbal up a little more because it sure is shooting down almost below it. But, I mean, negative 24. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to play with this some more. So this moving around gives us a lot to work with, very interesting. This is also good fun just to play around with, creating these. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stop this one. And what we're going to do is we'll go back to the 2D. And, here we are. What I want to do, I'm going over to the other side here. So what we're going to do here is let's click in here. And I would like to create a new mission. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's create a new mission, a new flight. And that new flight is going to be a waypoint flight. We're going to use the Mavic 3 Enterprise right in here. So they do include it. And then when we're done, it's asking it's flying with Litchi pilot or flying with the DJI pilot. I'm going to do the DJI pilot. I'm going to go ahead and create that. And now we've got a drone looking off in the distance here. And we can start plotting and planning in here. I'm just turning this around. So this, by the way, is a more permanent outline orthomosaic shapefile that we did. We used QGS to lay this out just to give me something, frame of reference. So the drone's not going to be flying this. Like I said, this is just a shapefile. But if we were to start planning, maybe this would be a good location to utilize since we set that plan up previously. So what do we have to do here? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to click into here. So on the left-hand side, we've got the new flight. And this, let me see. We'll just call it that because I'm being a smartass about it. But yeah. So like, I'm still in pain today. I'm sitting, but I'm only going to be here less than 10, 15 minutes. And then I'll go stand somewhere or I'll go do some physical therapy workout stuff again. All right, we want to plot this out. DJI Mavic 3 Enterprise. So it's the Mavic 3E wide camera. Uh, Upon signal loss, abort the mission, it'll come back. Above takeoff is what our altitude mode is going to be. And then I'm going to set this to 98 feet above ground level. And that might have me crashing into some things. We've also got 18 miles an hour. And then the path mode here, we can do, okay, let's see the curved turns. And we can do these manual or transition, or follow the path. And let's go ahead and I think we're going to go a transition here and finish action. Let's see. We could do a point of interest. So I'm going to leave the gimbal pitch mode alone for the moment, or what do you think? Transition. Let's do transition instead. So we're just playing with this here, by the way, and distracting from the soreness here. But so this is one way we can start plotting things out, and we use other tools like QGIS and Google Earth, Litchi, of course. We used to use the one of the DJI ones that was for the iPads only years ago, Ground Station Pro, fun one. And there's a bunch of other tools to play with as well. I'm just big on going to the site. So going to this particular site on their roads and washes, we're going to have to figure out another way for me to gain access easier so I don't have to spend a half an hour or so just feeling like I'm recovering from this. All right, I'm going to say that we're good here and we'll play with it. So we've got that all set up and we are now going to, let's see here. Have I missed anything else in here? Nope, I don't think so. So let's go out here and I'm going to right click and actually let's not do that one there. Let's actually do it over here because this has got some elevation. So I'm just going to right click in here and this is going to be a waypoint. And let's see here. I'm going to go to the 2D version and let's bring our drone back here. There is our first one though, our first waypoint, and we can see where it's looking. We can see what, what we're going to expect coming through here. On the left-hand side, we can do some more planning in here. We could change the 98 foot, point of interest. We don't have any. Heading is transition right now. Can I put it to anything else? I sure can't. All right, so direction shortest, clockwise or counterclockwise. I'm going to go with shortest. And transition in here, yep, nothing else. Nothing that we can really click on or change. One thing in here, if you'll look down here with the waypoint number 1 and you look to the north of it there, this is where we're actually facing. So I could actually move this so it's looking out there a little more. And my next step could be right click, new waypoint. So waypoint number 2. And I think I would like that one to start curving. So we're going to go north and then we're going to curve to the east. Great little tool, by the way, for taking this further out or further in here. And let's go over to the next one. We can do another waypoint. And, we can play with these waypoints a little more and, get a little more out of them. New waypoint here. This one is going to, let's see here. There we go. Because I want it to come back looking back. And let's come down to the bottom here and another waypoint. So there's number 5. We'll do a new waypoint at 6 as well. And that one we're going to turn facing back to capture some more of that. So nice and easy on how we can set up our transitions and everything. Let's say that I'm done with this for now, and I'm going to go back to number 1. There we go. And I could put this into the 2D or 3D. Let's go ahead and just do a simulation on this. So I'm just going to have it down here. So we're going, there we go, 17, 18 miles per hour. And here is the drone moving along. Let's see if it will actually, yes, it is doing a curve right here for us because we did tell it to start looking up there. So when we get to waypoint 2, that should be also pointing out here a little more. And I think I messed up on 4, but you get the idea here. Let's go ahead and hit that. And so now we're in that 3D movement right now from the Google Earth maps. So this is nice. It's moving along nicely. We can see where the drone's going to be shooting at, what the drone's going to be picking up. And so maybe we want to pull this back a little more. This is pretty tight in. And so that might be a next step. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. But so I've been messing around with the Litchi Hub today, thinking up other ways, access points, and easy access points so that when we're on the job site, I'm comfortable enough. So it's not, I haven't lost full mobility, but it has impacted things greatly. I don't drive anymore. The Nissan Titan is sitting still, and Jody drives us to all of our locations. It's just, it has to be that. But so hopefully as we move down the recovery, physical recovery road, we'll gain some more ability. But in the meantime, this is making it hard to do the job. And I've talked about that previously this year. And I've, and I know we've had a subscriber drop off. I've seen that. And I understand because we're not covering as much as we'd like to. The good thing I can say is all of our current clients, we have easy enough access to do our flights. And this particular one might have easier access coming up in the next couple of months. But if you were to ask me to go back out there tomorrow, I would have to say not yet. We need to work around some of these issues. So playing around, getting some ideas for myself. I'd love to hear from all of you. If you had a situation where you had to do most of your planning now um, in the office instead of going on location, what tools would you be using for the in the office where you could trust and predict great usability off of the application? So, some more of these map making apps. If you've got any suggestions, I will take them because we need to make this easier on us. And in the end, this was fun to play around with. I'm just driving this around so that you can see it. There it goes, blowing up that camera, and now we're tightening this way down because we decided to drive into the rocks and so that location right there, not a great location. So we had this set to our original launch is 98 feet, and then AGL is -50 feet. So it's more than just in the rough. Well, I hope this was interesting enough for you guys. And by the way, please let me know if you have any videos you'd like to see here, other applications that we use for doing our work, because we can stand up. This is a standing desk, so so I can still do tutorials and things. It just it slows things down, and from my perspective, um, you know, it's a little painful, a little distracting. So I need to have positive distractions, not negative ones. All right, everyone, we'll see you again in the near future. And this channel, we're going to talk about these things because this is all part of having a drone business as well, working around all the rest of the life stuff. All right, everyone, have an awesome one, and I'll try to talk to you again sooner rather than later.